Today, we are going to introduce SPSS, a must-have software for students in the education major.
We'll walk you through choosing the right analysis method, performing operations, and interpreting data analysis step by step. Let's get started.
Chapter 1: Interface Cognition. The first time you open it, you might feel a bit confused. Just remember these three key areas. First, data view. Enter and view data, similar to an Excel spreadsheet where you can input data directly. Second, variable view. Set data types, define variable names, categories, labels, and other attributes. Let's take a closer look at each attribute separately. Name, the identifier of a variable, similar to giving each variable a name. Be careful, this is a common area for errors. The variable name must start with a letter, a Chinese character, or at. It can contain letters, numbers, periods, and underscores underline, but cannot include spaces or other special characters such as at, pound, etc., except for underscores. For example, age and 身高 are valid names, whereas age 井号 and my age are invalid. Each variable name must be unique within the data file. Duplicates can cause confusion during data entry and analysis. Type determines the data storage format of a variable. Different types define what kind of data can be stored and what operations can be performed. Common types: numeric, date, string. Width refers to the character width of a variable in the data view, meaning the column width used to display data. If the actual length of the data exceeds the set width, it may appear as asterisk. To ensure the data is fully visible, you may need to adjust the width accordingly. Decimals, applicable only to numeric variables, used to specify the number of decimal places displayed after the decimal point. Label provides a more detailed description of the variable. Example, the variable name age can have a label like respondent's age. This helps in making the data and analysis results clearer by indicating the exact meaning of the variable. Values assigns labels to different values of a variable, mainly used for categorical variables. Example, for the gender variable, value 1 can be labeled as male. Value 2 can be labeled as female. This makes the data more intuitive and easier to interpret in analysis. Missing defines how missing values are handled for a variable. Columns refers to the column width of the variable in the data view, determining how much space it occupies when displayed. Align specifies the alignment of variable data in the data view. There are 3 alignment options: left aligned, right aligned, centered. Ordinal data has a certain order, but the intervals between ranks are not necessarily equal, such as education level, elementary school, high school, university. Nominal, used for categorical data where there is no inherent order among categories, such as gender or ethnicity. Scale includes interval and ratio scales, where data can be subjected to mathematical operations. Examples include height, weight, and age. Role input, used as an independent variable in analysis. Target, used as a dependent variable, which is the main object of prediction or explanation in the analysis. Both can function as both an independent and a dependent variable in different parts of the analysis. None, not included in the current analysis. Search toolbar, the most commonly used analysis tools are here. Core functions of the menu bar: File, Edit, View, Analyze, Refs. Chapter 2: Data Entry. 2 efficient data entry methods. Method 1: Drag keyboard input, best for small datasets. Define variables in variable view. Example, name, gender, score. Set name and gender as string type. Set score as numeric type. Assign values for gender, for example, 1 equals female, 2 equals male. Enter data in data view. Once variables are set, you can start entering data directly. Method 2: Importing an Excel file. Go to File, Open Data. Select your Excel file. Important: Check the box Read variable names from the first row to ensure correct variable naming. This method is more efficient for large datasets. Chapter 3: Descriptive Analysis. Scenario: we want to analyze the academic performance of a class of 50 students, focusing on math, Chinese, and English scores. Steps for descriptive analysis in SPSS. 1. Click Analyze Descriptive Statistics Descriptives. 2. In the Descriptives dialog box, move Math score, Chinese score, and English score to the Variables list. 3. Click Options, and in the Descriptives Options dialog box, select the statistical measures you want to calculate, such as mean average, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, minimum and maximum, range, kurtosis, skewness. Here, we select all and click Continue. For back in the Descriptives dialog box, if you want to save standardized scores to the data file, check Save Standardized Values as Variables. 5. Click OK, and SPSS will generate the descriptive statistics results in the output window. Chapter 4: T-Test in Practice. Scenario: comparing math scores between male and female students. 1. Click Analyze Compare Means Independent Samples T-Test. 2. Test Variable, select math score. 3. Grouping Variable, select gender, then define groups as 1 female and 2 male. 4. Click Options. Set the confidence interval percentage default is 95%. Click Continue. 5. Click OK, and SPSS will generate the output in the results window. SPSS generates two key sections in the output for an independent samples t-test. First, group statistics displays basic descriptive statistics for male and female math scores, including sample size n, mean average score, standard deviation, standard error of the mean. Second, independent samples test key results. Levin's test for equality of variances. Purpose: checks whether the variances of the two groups are equal. Null hypothesis H: the variances of both groups are equal. Decision rule: if sig is more than 0.05, accept H variances are equal. If sig is less than or equal to 0.05, reject H variances are not equal. This step determines which t-test result to use. T-test results. Based on Levin's test, if variances are equal, refer to the equal variances assumed row. If variances are not equal, refer to the equal variances not assumed row. Key values to check. T-value indicates the difference between groups in standard error units. Degrees of freedom df affects the significance level calculation. Sig to tilde, the p-value indicating whether the difference is statistically significant. Decision rule for t-test. If sig to tilde is less than or equal to 0.05, reject H, meaning there is a significant difference in math scores between males and females. If sig to tilde is more than 0.05, accept H, meaning there is no significant difference in math scores. Chapter 5: Saving Results. At the end of the analysis, remember to save two essential files. One data file, save format, stores all variables, data entries, and settings. Ensures your dataset remains intact for future modifications. To output file, SPV format. Saves all analysis results tables, charts, and statistical tests. Allows you to reopen and modify the analysis anytime by double-clicking the file. Congratulations! You've now mastered the basic SPSS analysis workflow.